I don't normally comment on political machinations, but these are just too big to ignore. We have the pardon of Hunter Biden by his dad and the nomination of Kash Patel for the FBI. Let's take a look. Hello, everyone. Chris Martenson here of Peak Prosperity. This is big news. We got to go right to it. Hunter's pardon and Kash Patel's nomination for the FBI, both of them very momentous, and I think they signal a huge shift in what's going on. So let's start here with this, which is, an executive grant of clemency. This is from the President of the United States, so-called. And for Robert Hunter Biden, a full and unconditional pardon, which, by the way, for those offenses against the United States, which he has committed or may have committed or taken part in during the period from January 1st, 2014 through December 1st, 2024, including but not limited to things that he's already been charged with. I did not know you could give a blanket immunity for anything anybody might have done. We don't know what they are. This is insane. This is an absolute travesty of justice. This proves the United States is a two-tier, lawless justice hellscape that the DNC and its ilk have brought to us, and also every Republican who supports and is part of the swamp blob. We have some serious problems on our hands here in the United States, and this just shows it in stark relief. Remember, no one is above the law. This is where on X, of course, community notes is just sometimes turns in a gem. This is an example. Here's a community note that's above that, came below that. By pardoning his son Hunter, not merely for a single crime, but for all actual or potential crimes he may or may not have created over an 11-year period, Joe Biden has made clear that some people are, in fact, above the law. There you have it. Now, remember, this is something that was just drummed into us. This is the way that this progressive hellscape works. It's a media factory. What they do is they just repeat something and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it with the idea that if they repeat it often enough, eventually this is the thing that becomes like truth to them. So this is how they create their version of reality, is they just repeat something like this.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one 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 is above the law.
All right, and there's Hunter Biden getting up from his thing. Anyway, so this is what they did, right? Remember Sharp's attack, right? This is a threat to our democracy, which we all learned our democracy was code speak for a totalitarian repressive regime of progressive hellscape kind of stuff that would then sort of be their enshrinement of their power. That's what they always meant when they said our democracy. But when they're saying no one is above the law, what they really mean is, well, the people on our side have to be above the law, because it would be unfair if we were held to the same law that other people are being held to. By the way, here's the Democrats' Nobody is Above the Law starter pack, just so you can get started on things. And if you really wanted to understand what they mean when they say nobody is above the law. Obviously, all these people are above the law. John Harwood here says people who insist Biden will pardon Hunter Biden. So he said this back in June. You see there, June of 24. People who insist Biden will pardon Hunter after specifically ruling it out are telling on themselves. They can't imagine someone acting on principle and keeping his word. Well, no. The problem, Mr. Harwood, was that we didn't believe Biden had principles, which if you followed his career, come on, Joe Biden has been an absolute scumbag his entire career, right? Just all the way back through. He has been nothing but just an awful human being. And obviously that rotten apple did not fall far from the tree. It rolled right to the base of the tree. Like father, like son. Okay. That's just what we know. Now, here's a question I asked Grok was, can the president pardon someone who holds incriminating evidence against the president And it wasn't all that clear, but it says pardoning someone who holds incriminating evidence against the president could potentially be viewed as an obstruction of justice or an abuse of power. So legal scholars and bodies like the Department of Justice, have historically taken a dim view to such actions, suggesting they could violate a president's duty to take care that the laws be faithfully executed. Absolutely, this is a complete travesty of justice. There's no other way to spin this or look at it. It's absolutely a horrifying thing that's been done here. And of course, it's absolutely unbelievable, especially in the context of the fact that the Biden administration is just throwing billions of dollars at Ukraine, where there's this enormous corruption going on. And we all know there's this enormous corruption. There's kickbacks coming back. But did you realize that in 2014, Hunter Biden was paid $1 million a year by the Ukraine gas giant Burisma because he was an energy expert? I guess, he was an expert at butane torches. I know that much. But beyond that, I don't think he had much chops in the way of energy policy. But was, really a way for Ukrainian oligarchs to buy influence with his dad. And this is a first year of his retroactive pardon by his father. Oh, so that's why it started in 2014, because that's when the giant kickbacks that implicate his own dad began. There's no other way to view this, people. And by the way, looking at Hunter's crimes, which are no longer crimes, I guess, but his spending, look at this chart here from Zero Hedge of spending between 2016, 17, 18, 19. 4 years, $4.9 million of identified spending just through made from Owasco PC and the defendant's bank accounts. That's what we know about. ATM and cash withdrawals of $1.66 million. That's the largest number on here by far. Obviously, we know what he was using all that cash for. If you've seen his laptop pictures, it was hookers and blow. Well, sometimes crack. You see payments to various women of $683,000, clothing and accessories, $397,530. Clothing and accessories. Let your mind run wild on that one. Tuition / education / extracurricular. Again, let your mind run wild on that one. Health, beauty, and pharmacy. Pharmacy, let your mind run wild. On and on, but adult entertainment, $188,000 across a 4-year period. Rehab, down there clocking in at $71,000, but none in 2019, when probably he needed it a lot. I guess I'm just interested in 2017, sports and recreation on the bottom, $8 identified. Single baseball, who knows? So this is all of this pardon is in spite of a 630-page report that was put together by Marco Polo. Not the FBI, not the Department of Justice, somebody who got their hands on an image of the hard disk of the laptop and created this report. And it is just nasty. 191 sex crimes, many of them with underage children, some of them underage relatives of his niece, 128 drug crimes, 140 business crimes. It's pretty bad. I think Benny Johnson pretty well nailed this, saying it is insane now to watch the Democrat Party atomize and destroy itself overnight. With Joe Biden's pardon of Hunter, the entire game is up. Mask off. Democrats are an elite cabal of parasites who grift off public office to enrich and protect themselves. The DNC is a Ponzi scheme. It is over. I hearted that one up. I agree. This is how it looks. If it looks like, smells like, walks like, talks like, quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Look, this has just been one giant graft and corruption. We're not sending money to Ukraine because democracy or because Putin bad. We don't even see it irrelevant that young Ukrainian men by the thousands are dying every week. What matters is that a bunch of people in Washington's D.C. Blob got to use it as a giant money laundering operation and kickbacks so they could get a few more of these things called paper promise tickets, money. Well, not money, it's currency. Money has intrinsic value. The stuff that we print up out of thin air in Washington, D.C. is just currency units. So this is absolutely gross and disgusting behavior, and this is what the country overwhelmingly voted against this past November. That's how I see it. A lot of people, including myself, weren't voting for something so much as really absolutely against something. I was voting against this. And this includes a lot of the Blob, which includes a lot of Republicans. I'm an equal opportunity basher, as you know. Now, I have a suggestion for all these spies who lied. John Brennan, James Clapper, all these other, everybody named here, all the 51 intelligence officials who said that the Hunter Biden laptop had all the hallmarks of Russian disinformation. Obviously, they didn't believe that. Obviously, they were using their insider credentials and their security clearances to affect a political outcome. Therefore, I think they should all have their security clearances pulled permanently as a starting point. Just a suggestion. Next, Politico, proving why people don't listen to mainstream media or Politico, including Politico in that at this point. Here's a series of headlines from them. President says he won't pardon Hunter Biden. Oh, Biden issues pardon for son Hunter. Ergo, Republicans pounce on Biden pardoning his son Hunter. Yeah, they pounced on it. Look at all that pouncing. Yeah. No, what happened there, Politico, was that Joe Biden proved that he had no principles and went back on his word. And that's not a pounce. That's a disgusting, depraved act by a gross person defending his even grosser son, if that's possible.